After the way this series started, with Alek Manoah getting shelled in the first inning, and you lose 11-4 in game one, then we hear the next day that Alek Manoah has been sent down to the Florida Complex League, and we're like, oh wow, this is actually happening. Kevin Gausman goes out there on Tuesday, shoves, you win 5-1. Yesterday, Chris Bassett shoves, you win 3-2. And today, Jose Barrios goes 6 innings of 2-run ball. I'm kind of shocked he didn't go out there in the 7th, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. 6 innings of 2-run ball, and the Blue Jays win 3 consecutive against the Houston Astros and win 3-2 today. And now bring their record to 36-28. Now on the year, the Jays have won 3 consecutive games. They're now 8-2 in their last 10. They are playing some really good ball, and it all stems from your starting pitching. How many times do we have to say it this year, Jays fans? If you get good starting pitching, it'll go a long way for this ball club. And against a really good pitcher in Framber Valdez on the other side, who had a 2-0 lead. And we'll get to that right now. Top of the second inning, Alex Bregman gets an absolute hanging slurve from Jose Barrios, and he dispenses of it into the left field seats, or was it into the bullpen? I don't know. It was out of here. And they're down 1-0. And then in that same inning, they still have the bases loaded and nobody out, and Barrios is caving in here, and we're like, oh, this reminds us of last year, Barrios. They get a ground ball double play. Yes, 1 run crosses to make it a 2-0 game. But then he gets out of it. And that's the only run that scores. Now, Jose Barrios of last year would have caved in and given up 4 or 5 in that inning. But instead it was 2. And your team is good enough to score 2 runs. However, with Framber Valdez on the other side, and he was doing a really good job throughout the game. However, the Jays were grinding him down. And then in the bottom of the 5th, they really got to him. And they got to him mentally as well. All right, let's get to this stuff. Varsho walks to lead off the inning. Then Springer walks, and you have 2 on and nobody out. Bo Bichette hits into a fielder's choice. He gets out at first base. Both guys move up. Springer at second, Varsho to third. Then then Vladdy walks. Bases are now loaded. Matt Chapman, it's a comeback chopper to Framber Valdez, to his, well, if he's facing the home plate, it's to his right. Goes and makes the play. And instead of trying to get the out at the plate, who would have been, I believe, Dalton Varsho, he tries to spin, jump, and throw to second to start an inning-ending double play. Well, they get the 1 out. Or no, hold on, was there, hold on a minute here. No, I was right. There was only 1 out, so he gets the out at second to make 2 out. Fire into first, not in time. In comes Varsho, and the Blue Jays are on the board. It's now 2-1. Then Alejandro Kirk comes to the dish. And he drills a ball to center field, and I don't know what this center fielder's route to the ball was, but it was bad, and it goes over his head. He tries to jump for it. He can't make the play, but it bounces out, and I'm thinking, no! Oh, that's a ground rule double. Chapman would have scored on that play, and you would have had the lead. Yeah, I understand that Bo scores in the play to tie it, but now with 2 out, you need a hit to get the lead. Brandon Belt comes up, gets in a 3-1 count, and rips one into left field for a base hit. In comes Chapman. Kirky chugging round third, gets thrown out at the plate. But the Blue Jays still lead at 3-2. Now, Framber Valdez, if I'm an Astros fan, I hate it. Sure, he was having a tough time in that 5th inning with trying to spin and jump throw to second base to start a double play, which led to a run. He then allowed a double to tie it. He then allowed a single to give us the lead, but as he allowed that single to Brandon Belt, he fires the ball to the plate. Well, he's a lefty, so he fires the ball to the plate, and Belt drills it into left field, takes the glove off, and is already saying to the dugout, yeah, get me out of here, I'm done. And he starts walking towards the dugout. Meanwhile, the throw's coming to the plate. It barely misses him, and Kirk gets thrown out, and he doesn't show any emotion that his boys just helped him out there. Like, if I'm an Astros fan, I'm pretty peeved. Like, play for your team. Imagine if that throw went wild. Kirky's probably coming home because there's no one to cover home plate. It's a bonehead move from Framber Valdez. Stupid move. Selfish move. Whatever you want to say. But in the end, the Blue Jays now have a 3-2 lead. Great stuff. And they have a chance in that bottom half of the sixth, man. I was very worried about it, right? Merrifield leads off with a single. Then Espinal rips one down third base. It hits the third base bag as Bregman's diving for it. So Espinal ends up at second, Witt to third with nobody out. Varsho swings at a ball up at his face, and you can see how angry he was about it. But either way, that can't happen. And then Springer strikes out on a breaking ball, and then Bo grounds out, and I'm like, second and third, nobody out, you get nothing. What does that remind me of? That reminds me of the time we were in Houston. You had the bases loaded and nobody out, you got nothing. Do not let this come back and haunt you. And then the top half of the seventh comes around. And Jose Barrios is done. 89 pitches. You have the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up. And you go to Jimmy Garcia. Little worried now. And he gives up back-to-back singles to Abreu and Chas McCormick. Oh, boy. But then, on a pitch, Kirky fakes a throw to first, and I don't know what Jose Abreu's thinking at second, taking an extra 2-3 feet away from his secondary lead already. Kirk sees that and instantly fires a seed to second base. Abreu takes off for third. Espinal fires at Chapman to tag him out at third. I don't know what the hell he's thinking there. You're in scoring position. You ain't a fast runner. Even if he fires at the first base, Vladdy's going to hose you at third. But either way, he runs into an out there, and now you have one away. Huge, huge, huge out in a big moment there for a guy in Jimmy Garcia who was not feeling confident right now. Then a chopper gets hit to Bo Bichette, 2 down. And then he strikes out Maldonado to end the inning. So he gets out of it. Not sure I agree with the call about putting him in that situation, but it is what it is. And I understand why maybe they didn't want to use a Nate Pearson, because you might want to use him on Saturday when you have that opener and bulk guy with Bowden Francis going on. So maybe that's why they're trying to keep Pearson out of the game right now. I don't know. But either way, Jimmy Garcia going out there, not the first choice. And if that's the case, why not leave Barrios back out there? He was dealing and he was only at 89 pitches. That's my thought. Anyways, we move on. Bullpen gets it done. Swanson was phenomenal. Romano was good enough. The reason I say good enough is because Bregman hit one deep to center field and Kyle Tucker hit a line drive to right field. Thank God they were at the guys. But he gets out of it, and the ball game is over, and the Blue Jays win it 3-2. They win the series. They win the season series. And with Texas playing as good as they are in that division, there's no guarantees that the Houston Astros are going to win that division, as they have so many years in a row now. So with that being the case, they'd probably be in the discussion for a wild card spot. And for the Blue Jays, with today's win, they have now won that season series. So, if they end up tied at any point, at the end of the season, Jays will be ahead because of this series win. Big time for the Toronto Blue Jays today. Great stuff for the fellas. Let's get into these stats. Not a whole lot of offense, and again, you don't expect that against Framber Valdez. He only had 5 hits in the game, but man, were they key hits. Kirky 1 for 4 with a big-time RBI. Brandon Belt doing his thing, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Andy walked once as well. Whit Merrifield went 1 for 3 and a walk, got on base twice. Anyways, 10 strikeouts for the Blue Jays, 5 walks. They did a job. They found a way to grind Valdez down and then made him pay for his mistakes later in the ballgame. So really good job there. Made him throw 30-odd pitches there in that 5th inning. Great stuff. Jose Barrios, phenomenal. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, walked a couple, but that was all she wrote. Great job from Jose. Jimmy Garcia went an inning, did allow 2 hits, but did settle down, gets the strikeout, no runs crossed. Eric Swanson, no base runners and a strikeout. Jordan Romano, no base runners and a strikeout for save number 17 on the year for Jordan Romano. And the Blue Jays now open up a 3-game set against the Minnesota Twins at Rogers Center starting tomorrow night. And look, Jays fans, it's not going to be an easy series. Sonny Gray gets the ball for the Minnesota Twins. Put it in perspective, he had 2.02 ERA better than Framber Valdez today. So let's put that thing into perspective for you. And Yusei Kikuchi gets the ball for the Blue Jays tomorrow. Not the most ideal matchup for the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 2 goes on Saturday, and it's Joe Ryan getting the ball for the Twins, who's been phenomenal this year for them. And Pearson opener, Bowden Francis bulk guy, Richards open, Bowden Francis bulk guy. What are we going to see Saturday? I don't know. So, not sure what we're getting there. And then the finale, you're going to see Kevin Gausman against Varland, Louis Varland, who the Jays saw last time they were in Minnesota. All right? So, you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the W today, smack that like button. I do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, you guys not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? Twitter, Instagram, Discord, TikTok, all that stuff is down below. So, follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I'll talk to you guys, Jays Edition, of course, tomorrow night. Game 1 of the 3-game set against the Minnesota Twins at Rogers Center. Sonny Gray, Yusei Kikuchi is a pitching matchup there. We'll see how it goes. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and the W today. We'll talk to you guys then.